Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Said pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Matt.
Yes, here.
Troy. Cassie.
Yep.
Linda.
Yep.
And Jody.
Yes, sir. Oh, somebody just came in.
Troy will not be here this evening, and we do have a new board member, Gary Price. He said he was going to try to make it tonight, but he might not be here, but he will be here for the
Somebody just came in.
July 31st meeting.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
unless he shows up here. No, it's just Dave. You're late, Dave.
I had to shower because Linda didn't want me to come in and smell like skunk.
I did tell you that, yeah.
Hi, Bill. You're the only one that didn't make fun of me so far.
You're the one that said you got sprayed.
So do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay. Now these ordinances are pretty much done.
Pretty well done. This is the one that has the most yellow highlights in it, because we were waiting for some wording on the decommissioning and the financial surety, kind of to see what recommendations, suggestions that Nextera had, because we had it in there a couple times, so we're trying to just condense to one. So, like, the last couple of pages, major yellow highlights, because I implemented those, plugged it in there, so you guys still go. If you're okay with it, I think we can take the yellow highlights off, and then we should be okay. But yeah, look it over if there's anything you have questions on. I think the only thing, like under financial surety where it says 150,000 minimum cash bond or 5%, in there was recommended wording that's number 1 where it says financial assurance to 5% during the construction phase. So I wasn't sure if we wanted to take out that first sentence because we have a 5% of the estimated cost of construction, and then there's also operational phase financial insurance. So there's 2 different types in there. So I guess that's kind of where maybe we just look at thoughts, suggestions.
Do we want to make any changes?
So is this saying there's 2 5% bond or financial assurance? Or just one and it's in?
Well, the first one is the like a construction phase bond, which is 5% of the
This one?
estimate. That's where I'm asking. So this first sentence is what we originally had in there. This wording afterwards is the suggested, because we were trying to figure out a way to condense it, make it.
So this isn't 2 separate ones, this is all.
Yeah, so 1 and 2 would be 2 separate ones, number 1 and 2, because the second one would be an operational phase financial assurance. The first one is construction phase, so it would be two separate bonds.
Well, if one went from construction to operational, they wouldn't necessarily have to get a second bond, would they be able to transfer after the construction is complete, maybe?
I guess I don't know the legalities of a bond,
Right.
if that's an option or
Well,
not,
what
but,
they would maybe have to do is, it would cancel and have an expiration and then get another one
right.
for the next purpose.
Which I'm guessing is kind of what the intention was with that, a construction phase and then the,
Yeah, it just mimics what the PSC does
Okay.
in their current requirements for wind and
and I
solar.
know we talked about that at the last meeting, I just, as far as wording goes, this is kind of how I tried to plug it in to make it make sense for everybody. But yeah, so that first sentence here where it's $150,000 minimum cash bond or 5%, that is what we originally had in there. But now with 1 and 2, there's two separate bonds. Number 2, says equal to the decommissioning cost estimate provided in the decommissioning plan. So it doesn't have a percentage or a set dollar amount, but it does say it goes with the cost of decommissioning. So kind of just wanna, if we want to just remove that first sentence of the minimum cash of 5% and then leave everything else after that.
So number 2 is 100% of their, basically, we're going with numbers, and I would read that as 100% of the decommissioning plan cost.
I mean, it does say equal to the decommissioning cost estimate.
Which would be 100%.
Right. Yeah,
That's a little high, isn't it?
is that typically what the PSC requires?
Yes.
Okay.
So I would say that's just fine then.
Yeah, because the way this is written, with if the PSC already has a
Right.
decommissioning plan.
Yep.
That would be what provides the legal guidelines.
Because at some point they may have primacy over this, so what
Right.
we have doesn't,
Oh, it says shall not apply.
I guess, yeah.
In that first.
so, yeah, that first sentence we could probably
Well,
just
no,
remove.
up here it
Yep,
says.
yep.
It shall not, none of this below stuff shall apply.
So that first sentence here, we could probably just remove and then leave the rest of it. If everybody's okay with that.
That's fine.
Well, as long as we can make sure that the increase to account for environmental remediation risk can stay in there somehow,
Okay,
because that's, honestly, that's the reason we're doing all of the bonding is for the protection of the landowners and
And that part in parentheses be added to number 1 or 2 over on the next page? I don't know.
so we would have to keep some of the first section because of how it mentions
Right, you're just gonna
the
have to
process.
reword that somehow because you can't just start with it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
okay. Open to suggestions, that's how you want me to put that in there.
Maybe they have some suggestions, I don't know how it should be worded.
Do you have any suggestions to include, to how we could include the increase to account for environmental remediation risks?
Well, the whole rest of the sentence
Yeah.
has to be put in there somehow.
I guess my question would be, what do you mean by environmental or remediation risks? Because that seems to be something completely different and separate from decommissioning.
I don't know the answer.
Well, I think the original, when we originally did the financial surety of this from the beginning, I think that's where a lot of the back and forth was going from is because we were looking for a protection, a financial protection for what happened to the environment, the erosion, and not taking care of weeds and the different aspects of building it. So on the same token, when it gets removed, we would want some type of financial protection that they do the same care to the property when they remove it. So it's,
Weren't they gonna put that in the road use agreement though?
Most of that, well, for
Well,
the
that's the
roads
question.
especially.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were.
we take it out of here and then it doesn't get put in the road use, and that's.
Oh, it will, trust me.
Well, and with, I guess, Next Era, if you guys already have assigned the road use, what are the legal aspects of adding or changing it after it's already been agreed to?
Now that we technically probably could do.
Right, you'd have to
We
wait
sever
until
the
they-
original and then redo one, but both parties have to agree to that, but,
Can we put if it's not in the road use agreement? Cause I thought that was the original plan, was like most of this would, the financial part of
a
it.
lot of it would, any type of financial surety, should the PSC take, trying to see how we wanna put that over this type of facility, project, whatever, the only real financial surety we could have is over the roads.
Right.
So long as that gets included in the road use and maintenance agreement, we should be covered on that aspect of things, but
And then the other things like weed control, I mean, that would be part of reclaiming of this site, right? So it's not just the decommissioning, like the removing of the facilities. That also includes like the reclamation piece of the site. So that would be, factored into that decommissioning plan. So between the road use agreement and just the decommissioning plan, which is done by a third party independent, licensed North Dakota engineer, it would appear that that would be covered.
that would be included within that decommissioning.
The site restoration.
Well, again, I agree, but I think the reason that we kept putting it in and everything is because of the experiences that some people already experienced where things weren't being taken care of. So now we wanted to try to create a protection to where things the county would get stuck with, there would be money to pay for that because it'd be additional work, like county employees using equipment, diesel, added materials, anything that may get stuck on the county, we wanted that protection available for that. So yeah, I mean, if it gets put in the road use contract, I mean.
And I
as
can
long as
make
we're
note, I
covered,
can
that's
make
what
note
we-
of that tonight to make sure that when that road use and maintenance agreement gets updated, that we can include this in there to make sure that it is specifically spelled out that we need to have something to cover that.
Yeah, so I guess the legal aspect of it, do we wanna leave it in here until it gets put in there? In case it takes 9 months for it to get changed on the road use, we at least already have
The
this.
whole process if you take it back out.
Yeah, we'll have to go through the amendment process to
I wonder how
remove this.
lengthy is the amendment
2 weeks notice, public
compared
notice.
to getting the road use changed? Is the road use change something they can do in a month?
Yeah, the road use change is something that happens between the commissioners and the state's attorney, which could happen in a day if he's working really hard, 20, whatever.
It doesn't go through
Yeah.
planning and zoning at all.
Yeah, that's.
No, I understand that,
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's gonna, go
But
back
that
and forth
becomes
where
something
they're
that-
negotiating what's in it and not
Well,
in it.
it does get negotiated between the county and then the applicant, because if there are terms within it that, either side is not okay with, but, the county ultimately, they don't have the
Well,
road
let me
use
ask
agreement.
this. Is the road use agreement like a boilerplate document that it would apply to every industry, or is the one you're referring to geared specifically towards wind energy right now?
No, it's used towards every project that comes in here, but it gets changed or updated as needed depending on the project type. It's not just something that's a one size fits all. We have changed it since we've had one project to the next, so.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
They can also have individual requirements added, like pencil in or whatever.
Right. I'm okay with making the changes, I just wanna make sure the protection's gonna be adequate
So
on
maybe
the
we
other
just take that
side
whole
of it,
first
and then it's gonna
sentence
pass
out.
on in a timely fashion.
Yep, no, and I will make note of that this portion gets looked at to add it into the road use maintenance agreement.
Just
And for now, we'll take out that first sentence and leave the rest as is, so.
Okay,
Under safety standards, 31.6.2, I did add this in there because this is currently in the wind ordinance. And I made that little note, it's in the current ordinance, but I feel that it should be added. That is something that we should have in there, that within 24 hours of an occurrence, the applicant shall notify the county emergency manager.
That's already in there.
That is in the current ordinance for like, wind and really anything else. If an occurrence happens, they have to notify the emergency manager, so if something would happen, this is in here, so. If you're okay with it, I'd like to leave that in there. Okay. I think that was the back page just had this little paragraph here. I think this was talked about last week though too, something that we talked about having in there, so I just wanted to make note that it was added. Yep. So other than that, those are the only real big changes for us.
So we can't really approve it tonight.
We cannot approve it. We can approve it as we agree with everything that's in here. I can submit a public notice for hearing on the July 31st meeting. We have 2 weeks. There's enough time for that notice, so we can take it to the public hearing first reading at the 31st meeting and then forward it on to the commissioners for their final approval. So
August meeting is when they,
August 12th is the commission meeting, so there's like a week or so.
unless they change it.
I really hope not, because we changed it from Thursday to Tuesday already, so.
So July 31st is our regular.
Is our regular monthly meeting, yep.
Do you guys have any comments on any of this?
For the battery?
Okay. So if we're good with it, is everybody
Can we make
good?
a motion then? Or are we gonna wait for the changes?
If you, I mean, for best, just to get it done and over with, we can make a motion to approve changes as written and then,
Proceed with the
set a public hearing for July 31st.
I will make that motion.
Second that.
Motion made and seconded to approve it. Any objections? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Awesome.
It's almost like there's any yellow one here.
I honestly don't think that we have any. Real changes to this one. This was I think we worked on this one more last week than the best one, to be honest, or not last week, but a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
Or 2 meetings prior, not
Yeah.
last meetings.
Yeah. No, we had a nice little reprieve from evening meetings, so.
Well, I would make a motion to approve as shown.
I mean, if there's nothing that's changed, I would second the motion.
Motion made to approve the wind ordinance. Is there a second?
Let me do a second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Awesome. So when it comes to the actual hearing, I do have like what we're doing, because wind is already within the ordinance under, A as a conditional use, and this is pulling it from that, making it its own section kind of at the end of our ordinance, but I'll just have the wording for that ready for us at our books.
So with that being said,
Mm-hmm.
if we do the whole public notice, we vote on this, it gets approved as 30 wind energy facilities.
Yep.
What's the process and the length of time to get 14 or the section 14 removed and have?
Well, this would
it
just,
put into 30?
the approval, the first reading of this is basically we are amending the current ordinance as is by removing section 14 out of the A conditional use and removing it to read section 30.
Is there any process to put in all of those blanks from 23 to 30?
From 23 to 30.
The last section in the current ordinance 23,
Oh.
and we're gonna leave the rest of the 20s available for future use, and then.
We could probably
Just put it for future use.
Well, right,
Yeah,
I
we
just
can
don't know
just-
the legal
I
process
can-
of adding that.
I mean, technically, we could have that as a part of this, is that we are adding sections 20 through whatever for future use. We can do that, because if we don't have that many future uses between the ends of 30, we can always renumber these two if we need to.
Right.
For future purposes, but yeah. So if everybody's good with that, I will get the notices sent to the paper and
And we would have the first reading,
on the
31st.
31st, yep.
And then I'll go to the
At 7,
commissioners right.
Right?
Yes, at 7. And then it will
Right
go to
after.
the commissioners at the August 12th meeting for the second reading, final approval. And then we will start working on data centers and solar facilities.
How much time do we have?
Yay.
We're pretty close to the end.
I was gonna say,
But
should we start?
I will email those, we can't, because I didn't put it on the notice, so we can't work on those tonight.
No, I mean on the 31st. Can we?
That was my intention, depending on how long this takes. So my plan is to email you the draft versions of both, so you can have time to look them over. And then come to the meeting on the 31st with maybe some initial thoughts. And then we'll start this process all over, hopefully maybe not quite as long as this one.
Well, we kind of hashed out a lot, so
We
I
did.
mean, there's a lot
Yep.
you can.
And I'll be sure to send both of those to all of you as well.
And we can, similar to having the battery team come and provide information, was that helpful?
That was
Having
very,
the
I
engineers?
thought it was very good.
Would the commissioners be open to potentially, if I can find folks who are willing to fly up to North Dakota, I'm sure I can find a couple this time of year, but
It's not
from
cold yet, so they should be okay to do that, right?
our solar, like the solar engineers, and then folks on the data center team at the company.
I think to get the initial information of what it all entails to have those facilities, it's good to have that,
That'd be good information. Just
Hear
an informative,
just to hear it.
question and answer interactive session. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was very helpful to just kind of have them walk through like, well, this is what it actually is, or what you guys use at least, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, if the board is good with that.
It's not like we know all the earlier on.
And if they can't, we can always set up a team or something.
Yes, we did
I mean-
figure out Teams, we have the owl, and we used that on whatever meeting that was, and it worked a lot better than my laptop sitting in the middle of the table, so.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll offer that up as a solution, but
Thank
we
you.
can at least get a solar PM and then project manager.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Is there anything else?
Wow.
Meeting adjourned. Everybody accomplished.
Great morning.